What is up, guys? This is Xander Bennett from Rare Candy here, and I apologize for having a cold again. It seems like every time that I try to record one of these that I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but we have had some cool stuff just come out, and I just can't wait to talk about it as we go over some new cards and some new sets that are going to be hitting Japan and eventually the United States coming up on the horizon. So just sit back, relax for a few minutes of going over some of these new cards and listening to some tournament info. Alright guys, the next regional that is happening in the United States is the Dallas Regional Championships. It's going to be happening from January 18th through 20th, so that is very soon. The format is expanded, and we got this a little bit messed up in our set review for Team Up, but obviously Team Up is not going to be legal. That's not going to even be out by then. I was just very excited for some of these cards hitting the expanded format, but this regionals will be the expanded format all the way up to Lost Thunder. So black and white through Lost Thunder. I'm going to have the event website located in the description for the video. Eric and Kenneth are both attending that event. I will not be, so make sure that if you are going to stop by and say hi to those guys. We might be doing a video talking about Dallas Regionals, so that'll be something fun for us to look forward to as part of the channel, but just stay tuned for more info on that. But yeah, Dallas Regionals looking pretty exciting. Expanded format has surprisingly gone back and forth between some of the more similar looking Toad Zoroark lists now that we're in that environment, but also the deck that got second at the last place regionals was Vespiquen, and so that wasn't necessarily something that a lot of people expected, but the deck is very good, and so expanded always kind of has a way of self-correcting. So we'll see what happens with this Dallas Regionals. Alright, 3 different sets have been announced for Japan. I believe one of them we've talked about already, but I'm not entirely sure. The upcoming sets are going to be Sky Legends, GG End, and Double Blaze. So Sky Legends is going to be front run by a Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres GX. So that's going to be really cool to see how they do this card. I hope it's still only 3 prizes just for the continuity of the game, and they just treat it as if it was 2 Pokemon, but everyone remembers that old Pokemon card that had the Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos on it and did like 1,000 damage or something ridiculous. So this is going to be pretty fun. Sky Legends is going to have 54 cards and release on April 26th, and there's also going to be new artwork for Lusamine, Gladion, and Lily in that set. Don't necessarily know if there will be reprints or alternate arts, but that seems to be what has been revealed for that set. Coming up next is GG End, which will feature a Dragon-type Garchomp and Giratina GX. So those are 2 of my favorite Pokemon, so I'm pretty excited for that. That set will feature 54 cards and will come out on April 5th, so a little bit before Sky Legends. The set from Japan that we are going to be getting the most recently is Double Blaze. It's going to have a Reshiram and Charizard GX, that's what's on the dummy pack, and is going to feature 95 cards and be released in March. So that's pretty exciting for that. The date is March 1st. Sorry about that. So all these cards are going to have some new tag teams. I'm excited to see that they're carrying out the tag teams past just, let's hope it's more than a few sets, or at least for me. I hate when Pokemon makes a mechanic and then stops it just a few sets later. So I think that the tag teams are going to be interesting enough and not ruin the game as people think that they might, that I'm excited to see what they do. I don't think people realize how big of a downside 3 prizes is, because that's literally half of the game. So I'm excited to get these 3 mini sets from Japan that will eventually come over to our shores to get some more tag teams in our standard and expanded environment. So I'm excited. Okay, we talked about Night Unison a little bit ago, but all Night Unison cards have been revealed. I'm not going to talk about every single card, but there are a few that everyone seems to be talking about right now. The most obvious one being the Lieutenant Surge supporter that is coming out of this set, and this card is insane. I love it and hate it equally, but it's very good. So listen to this effect, and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about this card just so you don't jump out of your seat before you start. So the card is Lieutenant Surge's Battle. It's a supporter. You can only play this card if you have more prizes remaining than your opponent. You may play up to 3 supporters this turn, including this one. So if you are behind, you play this, you can play 2 other supporters. Now, here's the catch. It says that you may play up to 3 supporters, so that does not mean that you if I play 2 of these, I don't get to play extra supporters, because the second one would still just say that I could play up to 3 supporters, so that would do nothing. So effectively, 1 Lieutenant Surge is letting me play 2 other supporters. But that's still ridiculous. This has so many combos that can be broken and manipulated and used. Obviously, you could just use this with Lusamine and play the card that you got back off Lusamine as soon as you played it. Or if your opponent hasn't done anything on that turn and you're just behind, you can go Surge for Lusamine and play another Lusamine and just continue to get more cards into your hand and hold more parts of that combo for the rest of the game. Whenever you are not taking prizes, just having this kind of effect that lets you abuse the fact that you're behind so far is just crazy. Even, like, I don't think that this is a card for aggressive decks. I could see, quote, aggro decks playing maybe one of these, but it's going to be the Lusamine decks that want to manipulate this thing with Steven's Resolve and a bunch of other crazy cards that they can play. There's also already been a turn 1 expanded combo, which Andrew Wamble of the Charizard Lounge and Mia Violet posted. The combo is you have an execute on your bench, you attach a Rainbow Energy with a Frozen City in play, so the execute gets knocked out. Then you're behind on prizes, so you play Lieutenant Surge, and then you Ace Trainer them, and then you delinquent them, and your opponent goes to a no-card hand on the first turn of the game. So I think that Pokemon needs to do something about this card immediately. This card is ridiculous, but let me know your thoughts about it in the comments. We also got a few really cool looking reprints of Electropower, Enhanced Hammer, Max Potion, and Guzma. I hope that Guzma is an alternate art and not its own separate printing, but I don't think it will be, because generally I don't like effects like Guzma in Standard, and I think many other people have a similar sentiment. But this is going to be the set that we get the Gardevoir and Sylveon GX that we talked about, and the Greninja and Zoroark GX that we mentioned a few different times. Another cool card, and I think personally my other favorite card out of this set, outside of the Day-to-Day GX, which I believe that we mentioned as well, is this Marshadow. It is a 80 HP basic psychic Pokemon that has an ability called Reset Hole. It says, once during your turn before you attack, you may discard any stadium in play. If you do, put this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your discard pile. So, it's not whenever you bench it, which is Crush Chance from an old Tauros from a while ago. This card could just be sitting on your bench, and you could use it to discard a stadium in play. Why this matters is because since you can't Field Blower it, you need to have a way that's not a trainer card, or not an item or supporter card, to get this out of, to get certain Prism Star stadiums out of the way. So this is a really good way for you to discard your opponent's Life Forest or Black Market or Wonder Labyrinth. You just have it on your bench, you discard the stadium, and then it goes to your discard pile. And because of Rescue Stretcher, you can use that to get this back if you ever need to get rid of another Prism Star stadium or just a really annoying stadium that your opponent has. The attack is also ridiculous, and this part is unnecessary. I don't know why Pokemon printed this card either. For one colorless, it's 10 plus. If your opponent's active is a Ultra Beast, it does 60 more. So with a Choice Band, you one-shot a Buzzwole GX. Without a Choice Band, you one-shot a Baby Buzzwole. This is absurd and definitely too good. And someone said it best. I can't credit who it was, but they said, stop balancing the cards that balance Zoroark whenever the cards that balance Zoroark aren't even necessarily working. This is direct and obvious Buzzwole hate, and Buzzwole didn't even really need hate because Buzzwole's not the problematic deck that we are seeing where Zoroark is just running rampant, and so this is definitely a card that just makes Buzzwole infinitely worse, and it's very good. Even versus like a Blacephalon, you can just smack it for 70 on a one-price Pokemon. You don't necessarily mind about that. That seems pretty good. Alright, so the next card that we are going to talk about is Venomoth GX. This is a new GX coming out of Night Unison that we are hopefully going to get in the second set of 2019. It has just one plain attack and then a GX attack. So let's go over what this card does. It's a 200 HP Stage 1 Grass Pokemon. And the attack in Japanese is called Ninjutsu. For Grass double colorless, which is a pretty good cost, it does 110. And then it says, if you played Koga's Trap from your hand during this turn, this attack does 90 more damage. If you played Janine from your hand this turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's basic Pokemon during their next turn. So this is actually pretty cool. Each of those cards that was mentioned is a supporter card. So I'm just going to briefly mention what those do. Koga's Trap is a supporter that says that your opponent's active is poisoned and confused. So if you poison and confuse them with Koga's Trap, you're doing 200 for Grass DCE on a Stage 1, which knocks out most relevant with a Choice Band you do 220, so a Viper will let you do 230. That gets you relevant numbers on most of all the GXs right now in the metagame that are seeing popularity. It won't be knocking out tag teams, but we'll see how much those show up. But then the second thing is the really good thing versus tag teams. If you play Janine from your hand this turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by effects of your opponent's basics. Janine is a supporter that you look at the top 4 cards of your deck, choose 2 of them and put them into your hand, and then you shuffle your deck afterward. So that card's not necessarily great. I do think it's better than an effect like How, but it's still not necessarily the fact that I would want to be playing outside of a deck with this combo. The cool thing is that with Lieutenant Surge being printed, you could play Lieutenant Surge and hypothetically play both of these supporter cards to get both of these effects. So that is really neat, and I think that's part of what they were thinking would be fair about Lieutenant Surge. But outside of that, the GX attack for 1 colorless Tenfold Retribution GX, that's one heck of a name, does 60 damage, and you shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 10 cards. This is kind of neat because on turn 2 of the game, you can knock out a Zorua or a Rowlet or a Vulpix, something they have active, and then shuffle your hand and draw 10 cards to set up. So I actually like this card a decent amount. It depends on the rest of the metagame, just trying to figure out, is the amount of damage you're going to be doing with Koga's enough, or is playing Janine worth it in my deck? So that's pretty cool to have those options built in with this, but don't necessarily know how well it's going to see play. What I do know is that I love the art on this card. The eyes are ridiculous, and I think it's super funny. So interested to see what happens with this thing. So this set is ridiculous, and I'm anticipating what comes out in the future. I'm not going to go over many more of these cards because for our next set review, you will get the pleasure of hearing us talk about them. But speaking of set reviews, if you haven't heard our Team Up set review, it is posted on the channel. It is 6 hours long, but do not fear, because if you want to hear about specific cards in general, you can go to the top of the comment section and see where Eric has wonderfully pinned each card that we talked about in the set review with its appropriate timestamp. That's all sort of in alphabetical order. So just any card that you want to hear about. So if you want to hear us talk about the new Zapdos that's coming out, that's going to be pretty cool. You just scroll down, you click on Zapdos. So that is something exciting, but also stay tuned because we are going to have a bunch of testing grounds on the channel for this set. There are so many new tag teams that have us all excited. I'm doing 2 testing grounds. I believe Eric is doing 2 testing grounds, and Kenneth might have as well. So definitely stay tuned and check out for those. All right, well, thank you guys for listening. Be sure that if you enjoyed content like this or our set review or all the testing grounds that are coming up on the channel, that you like this video and subscribe just so you can get those updates as soon as these videos are posted. And also, if you are really interested in supporting the content that we do on this channel, you can check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/rarecandytcg. We have online articles. You can post decks and we'll put some advice on it. There's some discount codes that we have more than just our normal Flipside gaming code. There's some extra stuff for that website. We got exclusive articles, we got some shoutouts and videos, and some exclusive merchandise as well that you can find through the website. So thank you guys for checking out this video. Be sure to try and support us in one of those ways if possible, and see you next time for the next Rare Candy Roundup.